Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
You're on mute.
Oh, I wasn't. Welcome everybody to Coast Entertainment Network Morning Tailgate. I'm Crispy Bacon here with the Prime Oos. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Week two of preseason. We're about done. I think we got one game tonight, and then we get right into the meat here with the final preseason week.
Yeah, it's coming close. I think one game tonight, one game on Monday. There's a Monday night preseason game. I guess ESPN needs their reps too. I don't know why they've done this for so long, but they do, and we're almost there. I think this year there's only one cut down day, they said, instead of individual cut days, so that should be fun. A lot of list of names being cut.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I noticed that last night. I heard that last night in the game that I watched, that there was one individual instead of doing what normally there's three.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. And they were talking about how coaches and staff are going to have to start watching tape on people who can get cut almost instantly that day. So it's going to be interesting to see.
It will be. I would hate to be a coach and you see that one player that you can't help, I guess. And you're going, we got to keep him for 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It is. But at the same time, if you know you're going to have that player, you don't play him all that much after your first game or maybe your second game. But I think after the second week, you kind of know who you want.
Right. I completely agree.
Yeah. So how's your Colts doing? I know.
I didn't watch the first game. We played the Bills. I believe we lost that game. We played mess rounds Bears last night, and I went to bed, like I was telling you behind the scenes. I went to bed and the score was 17-7 Chicago, and I wasn't staying up any longer because at that point it was 2:30, 3 o'clock. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go to bed. And I wake up and the score's 21-17 Green Bay, Indianapolis. And I thought, oh, what did I miss?
Right. Yeah, I've had that.
But we named Richardson our starter. So he's going to be our starter week one. I think we're getting it down to where we need to be. We lost Ashton Doolin. We lost an edge rusher for the season. We have both those guys on the IR. Those guys are done. But it's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be like to get Shaq Leonard back again at full strength. Hopefully we can get the situation taken care of with Jonathan Taylor, get him in. It sounds like the way that when they interviewed Irsay last night at the game, it sounded like that there might be a little bit of something going on in the background that we don't know about. But hopefully we can be ready for Jacksonville week one.
But overall, you got no really major injuries per se.
Outside of Doolin and the edge rusher, we've got nothing major. We've got guys just resting right now, just to get ready for, I think, week 3 to see if we can, because I think our starters are going to play week 3, like for primarily the first half, and then I think we're going to see a lot more Minshew and Hall and all those guys. I think we're going to see a lot more then. But I'm interested in seeing what I really wish that Richardson had played last night so I could see a little bit. Granted, I know he played for my Gators, but I kind of like to see what he would do in a pro system. I'm kind of interested, so I'm kind of looking forward to next week.
Yeah, next week's usually when it's kind of put up or shut up for a lot of the backup players and new players. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, they lost their second preseason game. We came out of that game with 4 injuries. One could have had a broken ACL. an ACL tear. I know. And that's a good and bad thing about preseason. You get to see new players and some of your players you had last year, but at the same time, there's a lot of injuries, and I know you have to play through it like any other season, but it's kind of risky at the same time.
Yeah, easily different. Yeah, especially speaking of injuries, is that like that Isaiah Bolden injury last night in the Packer Patriots game, and
Yeah,
it's good to hear that he's going to leave with the team back to New England. It's good to hear. Kind of stuff like that's kind of scary. That's what I think. That's the reason why players today are fearful of playing more preseason games is because of injuries like that.
right. And I think, but in theory, like when they added the 18th week, all they
Right,
all they really did was move a preseason to the back. They took a preseason game and they moved it to the end of the season,
right.
technically.
And then they made it count, which I think the players are happier that way. I think that they're just ready. I think right now you can tell just by the way that everybody's getting chippy in camp that everybody wants to get the season started. They want to start. They want to start playing for something that means something.
Yeah. And for a lot of the backups in preseason, it does because it may not. This may be their only chance to get on a field. But yeah, they want games in the regular season to mean more. Uh, but at the same time, to improve their health or keep their health going.
Right.
But yeah, that was scary what happened in the Packer game. Both teams, Patriots and Packers, agreed to stop the game. I think it was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I heard. It was in the fourth
mhm.
quarter. I think it was the right idea. I think it was the right call. If again, it's again we're talking about the preseason. If this was talking about a regular season, yeah, I know we're looking at another Buffalo Bills Cincinnati Bengals thing, but I think they did. I think they made the right call.
And I think both teams did that too after the Hamlin incident.
Hmm.
They don't want to go through that again, and I understand. But at least he's okay. That's good. Um, so, what's your hope for the regular season, at least from your perspective of the Colts?
I'm I'm hoping I'm I'm hoping that we can be competitive. I'd like for us to be I'd like for us to be 9-8 and possibly fighting for a wild card spot. To think that this team is going to be an AFC South contender is a little bit high hopes. And like they were saying last night, you're always playing for the AFC South, but when you have a team like Jacksonville ahead of you, you kind of you're kind of playing for second place, and with the disarray that the Tennessee Titans have, I think second place isn't that high of a goal. I think it's an attainable goal.
I think so too. I think for many rookie quarterbacks, it's all about staying healthy and improving.
Exactly. What do you think about your Cowboys? What are your hopes for them?
At least make the playoffs. Hopefully, continue their somewhat regular season winning streak of 12 wins. It's going to be tricky to do that though because you're going through Aaron Rodgers and now the Jets. You have the Buffalo Bills somewhere in there. Uh, Lions are going to be scary. I think they're going to do good this year. Everybody's hyped on the Lions. It seems like all their tickets are sold, at least season tickets.
Yeah, I, I'm hyped on the Lions. Lions look like a good team. They're just piece. They seem like they're a piece missing here, a piece missing there. But then again, you're still in the same division as the Vikings, and we saw what the Vikings did last year.
I think it's one quarterback easier because because you don't have Rodgers there, but you still have to deal with uh,
You still, yeah,
Fields, and so
yeah.
it's still tricky, but I think they can handle it. Um, have you seen anything on Bryce Young
I
within
saw,
the first game?
I missed, I turned the, because this is me not reading my schedule right. I thought
Okay.
that the, I thought that the Colts game was on the 19th. According to my schedule, I can't pay attention to dates, and I thought the date because it was supposedly at my time it was supposed to be at 1 o'clock on the 20th, and I thought it was supposed to be at 2 o'clock on the 19th in the morning. And I'm like, okay, so I'm turning on a game, and the game I turn on is the Giants versus the. Why did I? Yeah, I turned on the Giants versus the Panthers, and I missed the entire half that CJ that Bryce Young played. But I heard Bryce had a pretty good first half. It looked like he could be good. I just wish he was taller. I really do. I think it's like watching Doug Flutie try to throw behind the Great Wall of China some days. But I think he's got a chance. You saw what that team could do after they traded Christian McCaffrey, which was a head scratcher to I think everybody. Um, but I think, and then they got rid of DJ Moore to Chicago. Um,
Yeah, he's looking
I,
good too.
and yeah, he didn't play last night, so I didn't get a chance to see him either. So, but it's another thing is it's growing pains because it's Bryce Young and I missed a little bit of CJ Stroud yesterday too. I didn't get a chance to see him. But it seems like Carolina's pretty high on Bryce Young. I think Houston has like they seem to be pretty high on CJ Stroud and Will Anderson. Boy, they couldn't stop talking about Will Anderson during the preseason game. Um, but it's just time. Is if you wanted a taller quarterback, you draft Anthony Richardson. If you want a guy that's going to be running for his life, and especially in Carolina, because like Sarge says, they don't have a line. I guess the good way to go is take Bryce Young. I think they're going to be good. I think you're looking at some. I think you're going to be looking at some growing pains there. I think it's going to be. I think you're going to look at it and see that it's a rookie year, and you gotta give them a little bit of rope.
I think so too. Serge is also saying on our preseason discussion, he's in favor of less preseason games. Was not a fan of adding a game. You didn't
Yeah,
really add it. I mean, you did, but you didn't really add it. Add it.
right. It's the only thing I disagree with is that they made it technically a 17 game season instead of being double, instead of adding 2 games and making it an 18 game season. I think
Yeah.
it just makes it weird because every other league has an even number of games in their season, so it doesn't. You could lose out on a division championship because of percentage points. It's kind of really not a great idea.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah. Um, you could also do 21 weeks, but have 3 bye weeks for your 18 game.
Yeah,
So
and
it'd
then
be a
you play
longer season.
and then play the Super Bowl. Play the Super Bowl in mid to late February. That's not bad.
It wouldn't be.
Ooh.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know. I'm reading Sarge's comment.
I was too. He was gonna win the South, NFC South.
Right now, the only team that's got a quarterback, an established quarterback, I would take this. I would take the Saints right now. I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm not real high on Ritter and the Falcons. Okay, yeah, I understand it's a sophomore season. It's still Bryce Young. I think you're looking at Well, I know Tampa Bay's got Baker Mayfield, and Baker doesn't scare me as much, but I think the Saints are going to win that division.
I think so too. I think it's between the Saints, the Buccaneers, and the Panthers. I don't think the Falcons have anything really at quarterback. Uh, Bryce Young's still a rookie, but he's better than Ritter probably.
Yeah.
And then you have the Saints and Buccaneers. Buccaneers are trying to figure out their quarterback situation now that Brady finally left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think the division that's the most open right now is the NFC South. I really think so.
I think so too. Chargers saying Kyle Trask is up and coming.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, the good Florida another Florida quarterback in the league right now, and I think he's one of those. He's another one that can move and he's mobile. He's a good mobile quarterback. It just if he's right behind the system in Tampa Bay is what the big problem is.
he's also saying Panthers run their hard way with Baker Mayfield or Cam Newton.
Yeah, Cam Newton. Who else? Who else did the Carolina Panthers have that they instantly regretted? Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Delhomme.
Not Delhomme was okay. I didn't mind
Yeah,
Delhomme.
he wasn't
Delhomme.
bad. He wasn't bad.
It's not like we're bringing up Steve Berline. Um,
Hey, he made the first ever franchise, I believe.
yeah, I believe. Yeah, I believe Delhomme was their first quarterback. I know Frank Reich was there too for a little bit as a coach or as the quarterback.
Yeah, he was, and now he's back in Carolina.
Yep. You're gonna learn the hard way, Sarge, about what Frank Reich is gonna be like because he's too much of a gunslinger.
I was gonna say, give him a preview because might as well know now.
Yeah.
Kind of like with McCarthy. He's calling plays, and I hear a lot that's not good.
No. I think, and I noticed this. I noticed this in the Giants Panthers preseason game. That the second half of the play calling for the Carolina Panthers was the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator
Yeah,
called all the backup all the all the offensive calls. So I thought that was cool. I think a lot more teams should do that just in case they don't want to call any more plays. We can. I think there's some more out there that we could go on with terrible Carolina
yeah.
Panther quarterbacks.
I think the Ravens did something like that with the coach too. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think that should be. I think the second game. If you're not going to start your starters, I think you should put.
The backup coach is in there too.
I think they should just go ahead and let the offensive coordinator make all the play calls in second. If they're not going to run the first team quarterbacks or the first team offenses and first team defenses, I think the offensive coordinator should call the plays.
I agree. And Sarge is saying, I saw with the Colts, I'm expecting it.
Yeah, I saw too much of it with the Colts, and I don't want to see him go down on fourth. We could have beat. This is how terrible this is. We could have beat the Super Bowl champion because the team the Los Angeles Rams that had won the Super Bowl that year. We could have beat the Rams in Week 3 if we decided to kick the field goal and not go for the touchdown.
That is true.
Yep.
So I found 10 burning questions for 2023. You want me to go in reverse order or start from 1 to 10?
I'll go in reverse order.
All right. There it is. So number 10, Trey Lance will start games, but not for the 49ers. You think that would be true?
I could see it happen. I honestly could. I don't know where, but I could
Right.
I could see it.
since I think they're still very high on Purdy.
Well, I think didn't they announce Purdy was going to start week 1?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, it's going to be interesting in San Francisco though. How
yeah,
that's going to go. First full season.
yeah.
Does he up to the hype?
Yeah, the tape is out on is the tape's out on Purdy now, so we're going to see what the sophomore season looks like for Brock.
Number 9, Rams end up with a top 8 pick. So it sounds like they're not going to be all that good,
Is
which
this the
is a
season?
far jump.
which is a far fall because they were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Um, I'm starting to think Aaron Donald should have retired. Um, golly, top 8 pick. It's possible. No, I don't see it. I don't. I don't think they get a top 8 pick.
You don't think so?
Nah, I think I top 10, but you said top 8, so you kind of gave me a safety cushion there.
True. Um, Number 8, Justin Fields becomes the first Chicago Bear ever to throw for 4,000 yards. He's more of a running quarterback to me.
He is. And here's the funny thing with Justin Fields. I think this is going to be a make or break season for Justin Fields. I like to say he's going to break 4,000. It's going to be close. I'm going to say no, but it's going to be close.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, he's
So
going to be.
what, 3,000?
I think he's going
3,000?
to. I think he's going to make 3,800. I think he's going to make 3,008. I don't think he's going to. He's going to be close, but it's going to be. I think he's going to break 1,000 yards rushing. That I can almost guarantee at this point.
Sarge is saying the Rams window is closed and shut.
And thrown in a tornado at this point.
But the good news is they already won a Super Bowl
Yeah.
with kind of what they got. So, I mean, if it is closed, well, I mean, it worked out.
Yeah.
Number 7, Lamar Jackson throws for 4,000 yards and wins the MVP.
No.
No, do MVP, 4,000 yards, or both?
Both. I think he's a rich man's Justin Fields, I think, but he still plays. The thing is, he still plays in the league with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrows, and I think you've got way too many. You got too many other good quarterbacks that could put Lamar to shame. I think his MVP years are gone. Yeah, that's going to make a lot of people happy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I don't think the Ravens are going to a Super Bowl anytime soon.
No, and not with not with Lamar Jackson.
No. I think they're a good team. They'll take you to the playoffs, kind of like how Dak is.
Right,
I just don't think they'll take you to a Super Bowl. But they're good. He's good enough to take them to a playoff.
right.
The Broncos will win the AFC West.
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Still playing in the same division as the Kansas City Chiefs and the and the Los Angeles Chargers. I can't
Yeah.
I can't get used to the Los Angeles Chargers. I just can't get used to that name, even though they were the Los Angeles Chargers before I was born. So
Yeah,
they're the third. I think they're the third best team in that division.
Yeah. I think Broncos are like bottom of the barrel last in that division. I
Yeah,
wouldn't say the conference, but last in the division.
yeah,
Which is going to be tricky because you do have Sean Payton there, and it's going to be kind of the same thing with Brady. Did Breeze make that team, or did Peyton?
Exactly. But you got to remember the numbers that Breeze was put. You got to remember the numbers that Breeze was putting up in San Diego, and how many. And now Peyton left Dallas to go to New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and we saw how many playoff games. I'm not no disrespect to the Cowboys, but
No.
you saw how many Super Bowls they won with Peyton as their as a positional coach.
Offensive coordinator, yeah.
Yeah, with the offensive coordinator.
Sarge is saying Fields will not throw for 4,000 yards, but he'll run for about 1,000.
I completely agree.
Yeah. I like Fields. I think he's more of a running quarterback, as we saw last year, and I think that's where he needs to be. But
Yeah,
Tua Tagovailoa signs an extension before Joe Burrow. I think Joe will sign first.
I think Joe will sign at the end of the season. I think Joe will sign after the season's over.
So you think Burrow's going to sign first? Then
No, I think Tua's going to sign first. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be weeks difference, but I think Tua's going to sign because he's got the weapons there. Joe, that's going to be close. I think it's going to be close, but I think Tua signs first.
it'll probably depend on play
Right.
and if Burrow is healthy enough.
Or if Tua's healthy enough.
Yeah, but I think Burrow's a little more healthier than Tua
Oh,
is.
by a mile.
Burrow can still coach his team on the
Yeah.
sideline.
Yeah.
Uh, Dennis or Desmond Ritter gets benched. I think that's a unanimous yes.
I think that's a yes. I think that's a yes, and I think I think it links to the one of our questions above. I think Atlanta makes a play for Trey Lance. I think if they do that, you put Trey Lance on the Falcons, and it's almost instantaneously that Ritter will be at that point. You're looking at Ritter being benched some way by week 8 or week 9 at that point.
Yeah. Chris Olave, or I said that right,
Yeah,
finishes top 3 in Offensive Player of the Year voting. He's a Saint. Yeah, he's a Saints player, or he could
Chris,
change.
that's tough. Offensive Player of the Year. Ooh. Top 10, yeah. Top 5, maybe. Top 3, no. Top 5, almost guarantee at this point, but they're not going to tell you who was top 10. No, I think Olave, you maybe top 10, not top 3.
I could see that. Yeah, I think he's good, but he's not right there good.
Yeah.
The Bears will pick twice in the top 10.
Oh, I know they get. I know. I know they're getting. I know they're getting what Carolina's first round pick next year.
Yeah, but it
Oof.
depends on if Carolina wants to continue those picks.
Yeah, I think I know I like to call him SmackDown Dave, but I think mess around Dave. I think I think Dave would love me to say yeah, but I don't. I think it's going to be. They may not even if everything goes right for the Bears and the Panthers, they may not have a top 10 pick. Period. Um, I think they get one top 10 pick, and the other one's going to be top 20 pick.
Yeah, it depends on if they make the playoffs, but yeah.
Right.
And I'll get to a bonus question here in a little bit, but at number 1, the Houston Texans will win 7 games.
No.
That is a huge ask when you have a rookie quarterback.
Rookie quarterback, rookie coach.
Yeah, but he's been with the organization, so he kind of
I,
knows the standards, I guess, of what it should be there.
I he knows what it's supposed to be like to be a Texan. He was there with, and I give D'Amico Ryans all the credit. He knows what it's like to be with a winning organization. With San Francisco last year, he's going from San Francisco to Houston. He knows what it's like to win in Houston, which is even bigger. Um, I like D'Amico Ryans. I think they're 5 years out at the minimum. I think they win 4 or 5 games tops.
I could see that 4 or 5 games. And the question that is asked by Sarge: will Dak ask for a trade?
Well, that question's asked to you. That question's not going
I
to be
know.
asked to you
Oh,
because
I know, but I think if they continue the path they have been on, I think so. I think he's getting a little tired of everything. He wants to win. Um, some of it's on him, some of it's on the team, but I think he'll get frustrated. I think he already is a little frustrated.
yeah, I was kind of hoping that he when we were looking for a quarterback that he would have requested a trade and gone to Indy, but obviously that didn't go the way it was supposed to. Um, I liked him at Mississippi State. I really thought he was a hell of a quarterback. Um, to answer bonus question number two, I don't think the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals lose. I think the Cardinals lose 15. I don't think they lose 17.
They'll go 1-16.
You heard it here first, folks. They're
I'm
going one
kidding.
and
They
16.
probably won't now, but
They will not.
that's okay. Did you hear what I think it was Tyreek Hill what he said at a press conference?
No, what did he say at the press
He
conference?
does he doesn't watch film. He plays
Oh,
Madden.
that's funny. That's funny. Neither is Johnny Manziel.
Well, I mean
Problem is,
he does watch film, but he concentrates more on the Madden ratings.
well, I would come on. Considering he's what a mid-90s player, I would too. Um, I,
So we
I,
got one.
it's Tyreek Hill. Come on, Tyreek Hill likes. I think Tyreek Hill plays a lot of instinct, but I like Tyreek Hill. I'd have him on my
Yeah,
team any day of the week.
I think so too. Um, I think we kind of. You got your prime 5 or no?
I do. This is even funnier because it's funny because I went with guys who could get cut in camp. So this is going to be
Okay,
completely awesome. And I thought today's a good day to go ahead and see who we can cut in camp before cut days happen. And you brought up
I
cut
did.
day early in the show, so I figured
Yeah.
why not. And
All
the funny
right.
thing is, I went with camp cuts. My number 5, and this is funny because considering all the receivers that the Jets have, I truthfully think that Corey Davis is going to get cut by the Jets.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's got the youth. I think he's a step behind everybody else. Everybody else in the receiver room. I think he's just. Plus, I think he's got a really big price tag on him, and I think that he's getting ready to finish up his rookie contract. I think, and I think it's cheaper to cut him than let him walk, or to cut him than to re-sign him. My number 4 is Lael Collins, the offensive tackle for the Bengals. So if anybody's looking for an offensive lineman, I think this
Besides
guy.
Dallas.
You're always taking offensive linemen. I
You
just
know, he was with the Cowboys before he went to
yeah,
Cincinnati.
right. And you just what do you want? You want him back at this point?
No,
I
that's what I said. Except for Dallas. Except for Dallas,
I'm like
because
I'm like Indy could use an offensive tackle. Why not take him?
He's injury prone.
This is the guy who my number 3 was a guy that I've heard, and Brandon's even talked about him, that the possibility that Minnesota might trade for this guy, and that's Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the Chiefs, because they've got that young duo. They got Pacheco, and then they've got that other kid, and they're talking about Pacheco and this other kid being the 1-2 in Kansas City, and that Brandon was talking that they'd like to have this Edwards-Helaire from Kansas City, and I think he might be a good a fit as a second for behind next to Madison. I think it'd be a good idea. And the funny thing is, my number 2 is everybody's talking about that Malik Willis might not be the quarterback of the future, but I think we all know who not the quarterback of the future is in Tennessee. And I think Ryan Tannehill gets cut. I honestly think that I think Tennessee will cut Ryan Tannehill, because at this point, he just doesn't show anything. He's had so many opportunities, and he's just a big price tag at this point. I originally had Joe Mixon as my number 1 running back, my number 1 guy to get cut for the Bengals, and then I realized that the Atlanta Falcons have a rookie running back they drafted this year in Bijan Robinson. No, they're not cutting. They're not going to cut Bijan Robinson, but I think they're going to cut Cordero Patterson.
Has any team cut their rookie like during their rookie year?
Outside of, you mean like the big name rookies, like the big first or second round rookies? I know there was a threat there for a little bit that Mixon, with all of his problems when he got drafted, had all that problems when he was at, I want to say he was at Nebraska, or no, he was at Oklahoma. Where was he? Nebraska or Oklahoma? And he had that problem where he smacked a girl. We don't condone that. Just so everybody knows, we don't condone that. C2C is our disclaimer. Nope. We don't condone these things. There's been threats, but I can't remember if anybody's ever cut a first or second or third round draft pick, especially if they're a big name. I don't think I've ever seen it happen.
That's true. I'm looking at social media for another topic, and Parsons comes up. I don't know why we put so many expectations on rookies. It takes so long. Should take so long to adapt to the NFL. Tom Brady destroyed me opening night. I mean, first part, it's true. We do put a lot of expectations on rookies.
Yeah. So, according to this, they're saying that Aaron Rodgers is going to start the final preseason game against the Giants.
Wow. He's been getting a lot of preseason action.
He doesn't. When he was in Green Bay, he didn't do too much preseason stuff.
No, but now he is. And I understand new offense, but
yeah, because he didn't start week 1. He didn't start week 2. So it's going to be interesting.
Week 3. He's
going to start week 3. That's kind of odd against the Giants, and it's going to be interesting. I think everybody's going to be interested in watching that game. I think NFL Network's going to love that game, because they're going to put that game on, and they're going to play that game live instead of making it a replay. I think that'd be smart.
That's true. And, for the people that are out of town, want to see that, they'll probably turn into like the NFL Plus and watch that too.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good matchup, Jets and Giants.
I have to watch it, but I have to watch it pirated. We don't condone piracy here on C2C.
Not even the Buccaneers.
unless you're right, because you're a Buccaneer. Now that Tom Brady's there, we talk a little more about the Buccaneers. So
yeah, and the Patriots, kind of. I mean, we did earlier today. So.
No, I can't deal with the Patriots. We did no. There was a reason why we talked about the Patriots because
Well,
of
yeah.
Isaiah Bowman. But you know, I
Not
I
that
have a bit
Zeke's
of
there now.
Zeke. Oh. Zeke,
How do you think
think
that's
about
going to
that.
work out?
Think about that. I'm like, you and I had a conversation. Like, well, Zeke will go to a place where there's a dome. No, we'll go to the third coldest place in the country in the NFL. Okay, that's not the rules. He could have went to Green Bay. He could have went to two colder places. He could have went to Green Bay or he could have went to Buffalo. And then he goes to the third coldest place. He goes to the Patriots.
Okay.
Not the world's smartest of ideas.
Right. That's
And then and then Dalvin Cook, who could have played alongside of his brother, doesn't go to play alongside of his brother in Buffalo. He goes to the Jets. Are you kidding me?
yeah. Maybe next week we should have a thing where it's the top 10 craziest trades.
Oh no, we all know. Okay, we know this one already, right? We know the top two craziest trades in the NFL are going to be right. And
Favre
Brandon,
and Rodgers.
we're looking. Oh, that one was fine. That I didn't have a problem with that one. No,
Which
we're going
one?
to talk about. We're going to have number one is going to be Herschel Walker. Come on, that one is. Brandon will lose his. Big B will lose his ever loving mind because of the whole Minnesota Vikings letting her going and get Herschel Walker. I get it. You got a Heisman Trophy winner. I don't know whose brain that was. And then the other one was the New Orleans Saints trading their entire draft away for Ricky Williams.
Yeah, that's a lot. No, on the Favre one, it's like which trade? Because he went from what Green Bay to New York, and then New York to Minnesota.
I'm still trying to figure out what Atlanta got in return for Brett Favre.
Oh yeah, Favre to Green Bay. I forgot about that. Favre to Green Bay,
Yeah,
Green Bay to New York, New York to Minnesota.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
and what was the weird thing was the one that bothers me the most is like how Indy got Eric Dickerson. We gave away a line. We got like crap in return, and but that was the Elway one. Then we turned around and we had Chris Hinton. Then we turned around and traded Chris Hinton to the Los Angeles Rams for Eric Dickerson. I'm sorry, but I'll take that trade every day of the week. But I couldn't believe that when that happened. But that's a crazy trade.
Okay,
I don't.
I found the 10 worst trades in
Oh,
NFL history.
let's go with this. I got to hear this.
Number 10, trading up for Michael Vick.
No. I like that trade. I don't know if that's the worst trade because Atlanta. That was the best thing Atlanta could have done. I no. No. I don't think that's that bad of a trade.
No, I don't think so
No,
either.
trading out of that pick for Michael Vick. Now trading out of that pick to get Michael Vick was a bad
Yeah.
was a bad trade.
Number 9, the Ricky Williams trade.
Yeah,
Where
that
he
was
went
bad.
from, I think, New Orleans to Miami.
Miami. That one was a bad one.
Yeah. Number 8, trading up for Ryan Leaf.
Oh, I love San Diego. that was awesome. Because I can't remember who had the second pick that year, but I know
I think Indy. I want to say it was Indy.
no, Indy had the first pick because the Indy picked Peyton Manning that year. That was the Peyton Manning Ryan Leaf year. I can't remember who originally had that pick, but it's hilarious when you realize that you drafted Ryan Leaf.
Let's see.
That was what 98.
I want to say it was either 98 or 99.
98. Yeah,
Oh,
Manning.
he was drafted. Wait, no, that was Heisman. I thought it said his draft. Oh, okay. 98 draft.
98 draft.
Yeah, in the first round, second overall.
NFL draft. Who had that pick? And who should be thanking the San Diego Chargers going, yeah, thank you for taking that pick.
So Peyton Manning was drafted first and Ryan Leaf second.
Arizona originally had that pick.
Oh, what could have been?
Well, it was the funny thing is, it was Arizona had traded back. Arizona traded back for the second pick out of the second pick. Turned around and got Eric Metcalf and added Eric Metcalf and Patrick Sapp, and then turned around and picked up who was number 3 because they went to 3, and they picked up at number 3. They picked Andre Wadsworth when they could have easily picked Charles Woodson, who was the number 4 pick. Good Lord. Okay, what was the next pick draft?
Yeah.
The next trade.
Randy Moss to New England.
Well, that was when he went from Oakland. That's when he went from LA or Oakland to New England.
Yeah, it was like
he was never. It was dumb for Oakland, but Oakland he wasn't going to play for them anymore. He was pulling to be honest, he was pulling a Keyshawn Johnson in Tampa Bay type of move. I think it's dumb. It's dumb on the Oakland part, but I think it's smart on the New England part.
Yeah. This one's close to your heart, I guess.
Oh,
the Marshall Faulk trade.
Oh, that one. Oh my. And the funny thing is, Brandon and I talked about this. Big B and I talked about this on our C2C Rankum because Edgerrin James's birthday is in August. And I can literally sit there and I think if you go back and watch that, I lose my mind thinking, why did we just trade a Hall of Fame thousand back for a guy? And I'm thinking, okay, we're trading for Ricky Williams at that point. And then all of a sudden, I'm a big Florida football fan. Yeah. And I had no clue who in the world Edgerrin James was. And all of a sudden, we're going to get Edgerrin James. And the words that were coming out of my mouth were a lot worse than when I said Indy was drafting Peyton Manning #1 because I'm a Florida fan and he's from Tennessee. It was terrible.
Now he's a professor in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Number 5, Steve Young traded to the 49ers.
Yeah, that was dumb on Tampa's part. That was so bad on Tampa's part. Because he was just getting into his own because he was an amazing quarterback when he was with the Gamblers.
I think in the USFL.
Yeah, in the USFL when he was with the Gamblers, had put up almost 1,000 yards. It was him and Jim Kelly put up almost 1,000 yards in a game combined passing, and then he goes to Tampa. If he doesn't play for if he doesn't have such a trashy coach early in his career, I think Steve Young is a Hall of Fame quarterback for Tampa Bay, and I think we're not talking about San Francisco as much.
That's true. It was a crazy trade.
The which one?
The one we were just talking about.
Oh, okay.
Next one's going to be Randy White to Dallas.
Where was he originally?
Says Dallas. I'm not sure.
You're going to tell me Pittsburgh, right?
No.
Randy
White.
He was
drafted by Dallas, played for Dallas, but I don't see any unless they had a. Well, it was the second overall pick.
And he was drafted by Dallas.
Yeah. So I'm confused on that one.
He's from Pittsburgh. Let's see.
I don't know. That's weird.
That's weird. I don't understand that one.
We'll skip that one, I guess.
Yeah, I don't get that one at all.
Yeah. Now we get to Brett Favre.
Which one?
And traded to Green Bay. So he goes from Brett Favre went to
Yeah, God, I remember that. I remember that draft to go and listen to Paul Tagliabue call him Brett Favre. I'm like, who the world is Brett Favre? And to think he was a first round draft pick. Second round.
There's
Like,
always that memorable draft moment, and I think that was one of the most memorable. Green
Yeah,
Bay
that
selects Brett Favre,
Brett Favre. Oh, who the what? What the what?
and I liked watching his football life, and
Right.
he or one of his documentaries, and he's like, I didn't know where Green Bay was.
What was that? What was that? That was the not the 30 for 30, but the ESPN films one. And
I think so, yeah.
he's
And
like,
he's like, I
all I
didn't know
know
where
is
Green Bay was.
I think he made the comment. The only thing I knew about Green Bay is that they had Reggie White or something. I'm like, what? But who did they?
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out. No, and the funny thing is, and I'm reading this. They're talking about how Ron Wolf wanted to pick Brett Favre in the '91 draft. And do you know what Green now the Atlanta Falcons had picked with the 33rd pick in the draft, right? The second round.
right.
Green Bay had the 34th pick.
Oh, wow.
Atlanta took Brett Favre before Green Bay before Atlanta took him. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So I guess Green Bay had a long history, I guess, with Favre
Well,
before then.
they wanted Favre something hardcore. I remember that. That was the 91 draft. 90, I'm trying to figure out the Brett Favre trade. Who was all part of that trade? What they ended up getting?
Let's see.
On February 11th, 1992, Packers general manager Ron Wolf traded the first round pick his team had received from Philadelphia in a trade previous year. That's not the Keith Jackson trade. In a trade so they gave away. So we look at the 1992 draft and the 18th pick.
And then 4 years later, he won a Super Bowl.
Right, and at that point had been to his second one, not too much after, right after that.
That's crazy.
So, that was the year. Oh my Lord, I can understand that trade now. That was the draft. That was the draft that Indy took Steve Entman instead of taking. We took Entman. I want you to think about this. This is how sucky this was. We took Entman number 1, then Coriat number 2. When we could have taken Sean Gilbert, Desmond Howard, Terrell Buckley, Troy Vincent, Bob Whitfield, Leon Searcy.
Wow.
The funny thing is, it looks like the Cowboys got that pick, the 17th pick in the draft that year.
So we could have had Favre.
No, I'm trying to figure it out. How Indy? Here's the funny thing: is Tampa had the number 2 pick in that draft, right? Traded it to Indy for Chris Chandler.
So what I got here is the Falcons drafted the gunslinger in the second round and never got him on the field in 1991, aside from 4 passes, 2 of which were interceptions. They traded him to the Packers at a reasonable price, the number 19 overall pick in the first round of the 92 draft, and the Falcons drafted running back Tony Smith.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I'm looking at the draft. The number 17th pick that went from Philadelphia to Green Bay ended up going from Green Bay to Atlanta, and then followed it up with Atlanta sending it to Dallas.
Wow.
The 17th pick, and the 17th pick of that draft, of course, this is Dallas. So what does Dallas take in the first round?
Offensive lineman.
A lineman. No, they took Kevin Smith. They took a cornerback.
Oh wow.
Out of Texas A&M.
Mm.
You'd have waited if you took waited about 2 more seconds, you could have taken Dale Carter out of Tennessee instead.
Huh.
That was a trashy. To be honest, that was a really terrible draft.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. There's nobody, absolutely nobody. You guys drafted. Well, the funny thing is, in that year, that's the draft. You guys drafted Jimmy Smith in the second round and let him go into the expansion draft to Jacksonville.
But went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a terrible draft. Holy smokes, it's a terrible draft.
Maybe next week the top 10 worst drafts.
We could do that. Honestly,
Yeah.
if you want me to, I can do top 5 worst drafts and worst draft classes in NFL history. And this, the funny thing is, there was 12 rounds. At this point, I'm looking at this. There's 12 rounds in this draft.
Yeah. Thank goodness we don't have that now.
And,
although it's still long.
And the funny thing is, this is 1992. There are out of the 92 NFL draft, no players have been inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yep.
Well, except for Favre don't count. But number 2 is Elway.
No, that we didn't need him. We didn't need him at all.
No?
I'm still thinking, and to this day, and I still believe this to this day, if we don't have Frank Kush as our head coach, Elway's a Colt. I think Elway is a Colt if we don't have Frank Kush. We don't have Frank Kush as a coach.
You think he'll lead you to the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, I think so.
And then number 1, I think we all know this one.
Herschel Walker to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah,
that's so bad. That trade is so bad on 8 million different levels. That's like trading. That's like the Lakers trading. That's like the Lakers trading LeBron James to hold on, we'll figure it out, to the Memphis Grizzlies for 4 first-round draft picks in every odd year. It's so terrible.
Or to the Pistons.
The Pistons. And truthfully, I didn't get the hype around Herschel Walker. That'd be more like the Lakers trading Austin Reeves to the Pistons for 4 first-round draft picks.
It was a gutsy move.
It was gutsy.
What Dallas did.
Wasn't that the first trade that Jerry Jones had after he picked up the Cowboys?
Yeah, I believe so, and I think too that it was the first trade under the salary cap. I think
So. But he had you guys had him on such a huge contract. It was stupid. He was supposed to be the heir apparent to Dorsett, and find out Dorsett was still a running back than Herschel Walker.
Right.
And then you guys turn around and let Herschel Walker. And then you turn around and let Dorsett go to Denver.
So we traded 5 players and 6 draft picks to go to Minnesota. And then at the end of the first paragraph, or a little bit of this, it says, "Sorry, Vikings fans." Yes. Walker arguably is one of the best college running backs. He had a good NFL career, but not what it could have been. He spent a little time in the USFL, which is still crazy. Yeah. I think a lot of these developmental leagues are good, though.
But. Yeah, they're good. I just don't think they're terrible. They're as terrible as the Herschel Walker trade.
No. But yeah, that was a weird, unexpected trade there.
Yeah, I remember that trade all too well.
I think that's all we got, unless you got anything more news.
No, I think I'm good. I'm looking forward to this week. See what's going to happen this week.
I am too. Final week coming up. Next 2 days. There are 2 more games coming up today and tomorrow. and then the final push.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see. I want to see what that bye week is going to show us. Who's showing up on the chopping block? Because I think when we said it earlier. I think there's going to be some big names that are going to be on that chopping block come cut week.
Yeah. Before we close out, any final thoughts?
No. I think I'm just excited. We're getting ready to start to earn our money. I wanted to make sure that due to Brandon having to work, we don't have a C2C this week. We don't have a Rankum this week. We're going to have a big show the following week. It's going to be one of our mega shows. We like doing mega shows, so
There you go.
look for us then.
All right, and we'll be back next week for another morning tailgate. Hopefully, everybody will be here to lead to the NFL season, and we'll be back to talk more football. Have a great weekend, everybody.